Hello everybody, this is Mike from MBoxWave.com, and I want to wish everybody a happy new year. Not only is it a new year, it's a new decade, 2020. This last year, there's a lot of hype about, markets reaching new highs, trading at all-time highs, and, pushing forward. So it's an exciting time for the markets, and we're trading pretty much almost at our all-time high. This is right here at this swing point. This is our all-time high. Um, but it doesn't mean that along the way there won't be short opportunities. When things get overbought, there will be selling, and so I today I entered on a short position when I saw the analysis that I will go through. I'd like to talk about, when the market opens like at 9:30 here, right? We see that before this point, the indicators here and sort of the price action is kind of an area of low volatility, when you're looking at the 1 minute chart. So, to gain perspective, and I feel this is really important when you are trading after the market opened, to have perspective of sort of previously what was happening in the markets, and that gives some information of how to take your trades. I'm going to zoom out, and there's a couple things I'm going to talk about here. First off, I like to draw support and resistance lines as possible exit points, that make sense, and also at these levels, I'm also watching the order flow more carefully, since at these areas, it's more likely that there will be something more significant happening in terms of buying and selling. So this blue line initially, this was hit resistance here. It became support here. Then we had a rally right here, accompanied by a cumulative demand right here, and this was in the pre-market. So pre-market today, we're making record highs, and then when we get here to about 848 or 850, we're making an new all-time high. This orange line right here, I drew because at this level we had resistance right here, and we had an area that people were buying. We had a huge spike in the MBox delta. So this being previous resistance and an area where people were buying, that's also another area of interest. I don't know if price is going to come down here, because that would be quite a big fall, but I drew it anyway. It's more likely we'll hit this blue line first, but it's there. So when the markets opened, we reached this all-time high here, and then we had this supply come in right here, and then look at all this buying right here. I put effort no result because after this all-time high we had this supply come in, and then look, all this demand here and no new high. So that became effort no result. It looks like I did move that. That's initially I had my stop a tick above here. Okay. Right. So when I saw that this was effort no result, sometimes it's hard to watch the trade and kind of talk about the analysis. It looks like we're hitting the first line I drew. So I'll be watching what's the analysis and the order flow at this level. We're already in profits over $3,000. I mean, we could just exit, but it looks like the trade is working for us. So I'm gonna hold on for now and keep talking. So basically, after this effort no result, we did see noticeable supply, and I want to show this: minus 125, minus 157, minus 147 minus 66. And at this point, this is a triple algorithm right here, because we have a pullback sell signal, Stooges sell, and a minus 66 sell imbalance. So this is where I executed the trade after this bar broke down. We had this triple algorithm here. And when I saw the effort no result, along with the supply that came in here, you know, this is also sell imbalance. This is not much. This plus 42, no new high. And that's where I took the trade. If you look at this plus 360, it looked like there was quite a bit of demand, like it was in the cumulative delta, and no follow through. Price did not sustain higher. And after the market opened, we also had this large buying momentum right here. I wrote failed buying momentum because it was relatively strong speed of the offers, and but it produced effort no result because price could not sustain higher levels with all this buying and all this momentum. So this became a effort no result, and this became a failed buying momentum. And then when I saw this triple algo, it was a no-brainer to take the trade. So let's see what's happening currently. It looks like our, pace of the bids is growing. Looks like the pace of the cumulative supply is growing. This looks like it's supply in the MBox delta. So it looks like we're in relatively good shape. I don't see a reason to exit the trade yet. So this looks like it could be developing to an effort no result, but I'll pause the video for now and come back in a little bit when I see something more. Okay, so we're back, and that was only a couple minutes since I paused the record, but to me, I got into another position, so now I'm 20 contracts in. I moved the previous stop from here to here, so both my stops are above this swing point. What I did see was, to me, this looks like effort no result. Let's go ahead and label that. As you can see, look at this box, down box here, and look at how much volume spent, and look at this size of this and all that volume spent. Also, we see 45 here. That doesn't look like much. I'm buying. So it looked like effort no result. The cumulative supply looks strong. The M-pace speed of offers looks strong. So, we'll see what happens. For the story to continue, if we are to penetrate this line, we're going to need an influx of supply. So I guess I'll pause the record, and we'll come back when we see something more. Okay, so we're back, and I wanted to give an update on what I see for the analysis. Shortly after this effort no result, we see this sort of large amount of buying. The box doesn't look that substantial, but if you look at this the MBox delta, and you look at the plus 259, I'm not so sure that this is also an effort no result. Clearly this is a larger amount of buying than we saw even selling here, and this plus 259 with the growing cumulative delta here, looks like we could be having accumulation, so this level is becoming pretty tricky. to trade, and sort of the analysis is changing, so beforehand I put my profits here. I'm just gonna change it to exit at this point. I'll wait until we return to this line. I think we're only a couple ticks away, so my analysis has changed due to to me this looks more like accumulation. So we had that for no result, but this looks more like accumulation since the MBox delta, the wave delta is expanding, and the cumulative delta is expanding, and at the same time, look at the supply. We're having a drop, as it's trying to make lower lows. It doesn't look like there's much selling, so we have a drop pretty much here. Okay, it looks like we exited. So we're 4,000 in profits. Looks like it could be a little tricky, seeing what happens here. There's a little bit of accumulation here. We saw this drop. Normally I like to go for a $5,000 day, so I think I'll watch the markets, and if we see another opportunity, I'll get in and record that part. Okay. Okay, so I just got into a long position here. We saw this accumulation here, and most notably, what popped up right here is this no supply. No supply right here. Kind of point down. There we go. So I just want to I want to reach my goal at least. I like to make at least 5,000, and I'm not sure how long this move is good for. I think that from the technical analysis we saw that accumulation came in. This doesn't look like the strongest, but what I will say is that we're looking at the amount of buying, and we're getting that amount of buying again as there was here. Along with the no supply, I'd like to point out, look at this -7 here. We had -137, and that's a pretty substantial drop to go from -137 to -7. We could see it in the wave delta and in the MBox delta, no supply. That's what this area really looks like here. I mean, we could draw a box around it, I guess. This to me, this is looking like an area of no supply. Given the technical analysis, and we had this 259. This to me looks like has not been resolved. This demand, price markup due to this accumulation and the no supply has not been realized yet. That's what it looks like to me. I'm not going for a huge amount here. This is definitely a setup here. So I'm just going for, we supply hit hard here and going sort of in the range here. To me, it looks reasonable. Reasonable area to hit a take profit, and it's sort of looks like a challenging trading day, so kind of want to hit my target and be done for the day. So I'll put the video record on pause, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so it looks like we should be hitting. Oh, there it went. Okay, so we did hit that profit. We're up to $6,125 in profit. For me, that's it. I'm done for today. It was interesting to see, how the markets are reacting first trading day of the new year and of the new decade. We had a valid short setup here, but when we came down to this previous support resistance line, we saw a drop in supply, we saw accumulation, and then we saw no supply, and it looked like this line right here is gonna support price, or be some level of support. So I took a long position here just to I saw it looked like there's going to be a correction, so I wanted to squeeze a little bit more out of the markets. Looks like the MBox Delta is growing here. So, we'll see what the market does next, but I'm done for right now and for the day. The analysis turned out to be pretty decent. You just have to learn to, read these things, determine what is effort, no result, what is accumulation, Really, the accumulation story becomes solidified after you see the no supply, and then that's where I got in. We see the drop in supply and then the no supply, and we have accumulation, so that's when I went. Anyway, that's it for now. Again, we made over $6,000 in profit. I wish everyone a beginning of a fantastic new year and profits for everybody. And hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.